Hello guys, Arla here with the first gameplay in the channel. We are playing the first tournament in our local store of BP04 Cosmic Mythos. On the right side of the screen you can see myself playing Necrocharge Abyss versus Kosaka, one of the best players in our local store, playing Ginger Rune, nerfing himself with a bit of a junk brew that he wanted to try. This is the first tournament, so we are really not fine-tuning the decks much, we are just playing what we love or what we want to love. I mill myself 2 Bellringers here, so my playset is out after the evolution killed the first one. Kosaka develops an Angel of Darkness, letting me know the archetype he's playing. I'm not very experienced in that matchup. One of the players actually uses it in a Haven Cell, just miming a bit, so with Rune, I don't know what it can have. I didn't think about Ginger. We didn't talk about our decklist before the match. The first turns play themselves. I just play a Demonium, trade with the Bellringer, let him draw. Eventually he will draw anyways. And the small wars may be a problem if I'm trying to trade Demonium with something bigger with the Bane ability. Kosaka tanks for a bit, thinking on how he wants to do this, and eventually he tries to attack the Sergeant. I trade in the Soul Conversion, don't have any Bellringers left, so this is the best use I can do of it, just some 1-drops. Kosaka then burns Demonium with Fire Chain, this lets me heal for 2. I'm using some face down cards to represent my mana, because Kosaka's mobile phone was just off the screen, but I could see his mana. Mine was recording, so we have to improvise. Fine Motion comes around, she gets 2 cards in the yard from the top of my library and comes with 2 health attached to her. Blessed Mummy goes to the yard, this being one of the key cards with Hector later. I try to trade the Fine Motion, but she gets Rime-Winded back to my hand. Rime-Wind doesn't work on Evos, but Racing isn't technically an Evo, so it is what it is, really. I can't use her as much as I want to because I only have 2 carrots in my deck, so the Rime-Wind is very effective here. Merlin gets any spell on Kosaka's deck, he decides to get a Fate's Hand. He hits me for 3, so I go back to 21. And passes back to me, turn 5. I check my graveyard to see how many cards are there. I don't have quite the Necrocharge. Sergeant here lets me get 2 more, so I have over 10 to play this Marusensky that is going to clear everything. Doing -4/-4 on Merlin with a Necrocharge 10, and then enabling her to do a -2/-2 on the Angel. Then trading in the Marusensky and only taking 1 damage on the trade because the Angel is a 1/2 at this moment. Then another Fiery Chain takes care of Marusensky. Turn 6 comes around for Kosaka, where he plays another Merlin. Then he searches for any spell. I think Wind Inversion is the choice this time. Yes, there it is. One of the key cards of Fallen Angel after all. Merlin gets some consistency back there. Now he can Evo Merlin. Then he can play anything. I think he wanted to draw, but he misremembered what he had played, so he just Fiery Chained the Sergeant and then used the Fire Inversion to get himself 3 life and just cycle the cat. Turn 6 comes. This is one awkward turn for me. The deck is more clunky than it seems, so I have to use a Hell's Unleasher to get a play. In this case, I get Marusensky. He can get any follower 3 cost or more from the yard, and then he himself goes there. Then Marzinski comes in, kills Merlin, and I just pass my turn back. Then finally he decides to play Fate's Hand, I think. Just get the card draw going. Back to it, he plays one of the new cards, one of the more exciting ones in Runecraft. It gets him to look at the top 4 cards of the deck, then get one in hand, one in top, one in the graveyard, and one in the bottom of the deck. I think it is a very good card to just filter and get out a lot of cards from the top of your library, just letting yourself dig for anything really that you need. Then he wins 3 life and cycles another card, just looking for his combo pieces. Back to my turn, 7th turn this time. Just getting a quick Necrocharge check. I fiddle a lot with my graveyard because thinking about bringing things back changes a lot of things, because even when I get cards back I want them to be able to trigger their Necrocharge. Here I get a Lesser Mummy and a Demonium. Lesser Mummy gets Necrocharge 10 himself, so he gets the +1/+1 from Ektar because there are only 10 cards in graveyard, not 20. And then he gets a Storm himself. Just looking for the Evo. So now I have a 4/4 that when it strikes gets a ghost in play. A ghost that I didn't remember, it seems. I know that sometimes we shortcut the ghost as 1 damage. Then looking at this board, Kosaka is thinking about what to do. He plays the Winged Inversion, discarding Lucifer to kill my Demonium. I heal for 2 again, and trades with Matsurensky with Stella. Stella lets him see the first card in his deck, so he can choose if it stays there or goes into the graveyard, and he just left it on top. Then Rika on a strike kills one of my minions, deals 3 damage to me, and just kills the other one in combat, leaving her at 2 life. I here play Israfil, heal for 4 on Fanfare, and then Evo so I can clear the Rika. On a strike it deals 5 damage to each enemy follower, so she doesn't take damage, and on the top of the deck was another Rika that just kills his Raphael and deals 3 damage to me again. So we are back in square one, but now another Stella comes along, letting him filter even more his deck. Rikas are very bad for me. Just playing 1 minion a turn and letting them just take advantage of these big trades is a struggle for real. After Kosaka decides what is in each space, gives back my turn, and we quickly check how many cards are in my graveyard, so to know if there are any death wishes and things like that. I cut that part out because it was very long. Then Bone Chimera comes along, Necrocharge 7 gets Rasenbane and kills Rika. And then for 6 I play Death's Breath, getting back Israfil, healing for another 4, and giving her Ward, which I don't activate this time because I don't want him trading with her so easily, because Stella will die anyways when she attacks. new friend arrives in the form of Bahamut, and Israfil is dead. I never played against Bahamut before, and it is a pretty big monster that just clears the board, and then your neighbors clear any amulets. He then passes, but we did a bit of a backtrack so he can play Abel Ringer. I play the Secret Tomb and cash in it so I can get back Lelouch with this Judge Hector with a new cool haircut. Then Hector comes in and gets Demonium and I think, yes, Hellraiser, so I can cash it in to get another Hector. Hector gives all my minions, well, all my Abyss followers rush, so I can trade freely and then activate, get my Hector back, and activate Bane, so Demonium is a bit of a threat, and Bahamut isn't able to actually attack if I control 2 or more minions, so I'm here gambling a bit, just thinking that if he can't really remove any of them, I can be safe for 1 turn until he gets another minion in play. But as we can see in his hand, he has a bit of a surprise. The Demonium is a 5/6 because I had Necrocharge 20, so Hector actually gave +3/+3 to the revived minions. Chaos Angel comes along, gets Demonium for himself, and then he just hits for 9 with Bahamut, leaving me at 11, just a little chunk of half of my life. Then plays a Goblin Princess that lets him search for another Bell Ringer so he can guard up again. A cool tech, to be honest, the Goblin Princess. He can take any Bell Ringer in any deck. In Fable, she can take the turn 1 Fable maid that can give Fable counters too, so it is a big addition, a bit of a consistency thing. So back to me versus this great wall, and I just tanked a bit here. I cut that part out. Demonium came in, Demonium gets Bane for 2 life, then trades with my other Demonium, letting me heal 2. Kosaka heals another 2 off of my Demonium that he stole. Then I can trade for free with the Bellringer with Hector and then play another Hector for 7. This time it gets back, I think it was Demonium and Lesser Mummy. Indeed, Lesser Mummy here is huge because he gets +3/+3 from Hector, Demonium as well. Hector, the new Hector that has Rush as well, gets in, gets traded, 5 damage back. Then I pay 2 life that I gain with Demonium, so we didn't actually put it down. Here I attack again with a 6/6 this time. He has a Storm because of his own ability of Necrocharge, so back to 15 with a Ghost that I remember this time, that deals another damage, back to 14. Then Kosaka's his refill came, just his Evo that hits for 10. He has to attack the 5/6 Lelouch because she only deals 5 to everything, so he explains to me here that Goblin Princess is dealing 2 damage to the mummy, then he's attacking and just wiping my board. And Israfil gets 5 health because Hector did actually 5 damage to her. Here we play a Cecil at a discount because of the Necrocharge. So Kosaka has to discard 1 card at random. Here he gets ahead of himself and gets Ginger in the graveyard, but then I actually remind him that it is random, so we just throw a die and gets Israfil this time, which is better for me, I think. Bone Chimera in play. Fanfare gets 3 cards to my yard. Deck is starting to look very small. Bone Chimera trades with Israfil, and I played that fine motion that went back to my hand like 10 turns ago. Can't raise her this time, but this presents lethal because Azazel can Evo to get him to 10 life, and then be a 7 plus a 3, 10 life to him. He plays Ginger, Ginger gets another Ginger in play and a Lucifer. Lucifer heals him for 4 and gives him a ward. So at this time I need something to kill the Lucifer, and I just got a Bone Chimera from the top, another 3 cards to the cemetery, and a clutch top deck just wins me the game here, dealing just effectively 10 damage to my opponent. I'm putting the end to this long match, but I think it's pretty awesome. Let me know in the comments, guys, and see you later.